I'm gonna present to you guys Piaget's sensorimotor stage. The sensorimotor stage is the first stage of Piaget's theory, in which he describes the development of baby thinking. This stage starts off from the baby's birth to 2 years of age, in which the baby experiences the world through actions and senses such as looking, touching, mouthing, and grasping. So Piaget created an experiment in order to demonstrate that babies under 6 months of age, if they didn't see an object or a toy, in this case of the picture, they didn't think of it. So like if you look at the picture below, you can see that a baby has a really appealing toy in front of him. And well, what Piaget did was he put a blanket over it so that they couldn't see it anymore. Therefore, the baby just forgot that the toy was in front of him a few seconds ago, and now he doesn't really think of it. However, if the infant is of an age of 6 months or above, then they will have the tendency to look for the toy because they saw it once. And this is object permanence, which is the awareness that things continue to exist even when not perceived. So even though the kid can't see the toy anymore, he is aware that the toy exists and I can search for it. We can see in this image that the baby already finds the toy. Now, Piaget's theory was and still is criticized by many researchers by proving that kids develop their cognition before the ages he estimated. So therefore, Piaget's sensorimotor stage was criticized because he thought that children under 2 years of age could not think. Babies can think and count. In fact, they are aware of basic physics laws, such as a ball hitting the ground before it comes back up and not staying in the middle of the air. In many magic tricks, adults are impressed and surprised by the things magicians do. And babies do too. If they see a car going through a solid wall, they are surprised. They're just as surprised as adults are because they know that a car can go through a solid wall and they know that a ball can stay in the middle of the air. Also, as I mentioned before, babies can also count. Karen Wynn did an experiment in which she proved baby math, which is a numerical impossible outcome. Babies tend to look longer at an impossible numerical outcome. So what Wynn did was she showed 5-month-old infants 1 or 2 objects. Then she hid them under a screen and removed or added an object, with them being visible to the hand that is moving the object around. So as you can see here in the picture. Then she lifted the screen and the result was that the baby stared longer at the wrong number of objects. So here are the 2 possible outcomes. In the first one, we can see that there's a possible outcome, which is 1 toy is left because she took the other, so it makes sense, right? But on the other one, we see both toys, which doesn't make sense because she just took 1 out and they were 2 at the beginning. So babies do understand this. In the sensorimotor stage, children also begin to imitate. When they're 1 year of age or slightly more, children start to imitate and evaluate others. They can even imitate really silly things just because an adult did it. So for example, if a person comes up and turns the lights on with their forehead, they usually imitate that action. However, if that person, the adult, that is turning the lights on with their forehead has a blanket or has both hands full of stuff and they can't or are unable to turn the lights on with their hands, the babies understand that and they don't turn the lights on with their forehead like the adult did. They just turn it on with their hand because they know that the adult is incapable of doing it because their hands are busy or they're tied or are covered or whatever.